So you want to know where I've been the last 5 months? If you've been following me for a number of years on social media, you'll know that we've been slowly renovating this funky old house here in Baton Rouge. From ripping up the driveway, to re-leveling the yard, to ripping off all the wood siding and putting up hardy plank, painting, gutters, shutters. We have really transformed this house into a beautiful place on the outside. So the last couple months, we've been working on the inside, our first major renovation inside the home, which is our master bedroom and bathroom, which is 700 plus square feet of ripping up everything from the ceilings to the floor and everything in between. So while I enjoy some of this Kaniche artisanal rum, well, I'm gonna just muse a little bit on some of the lessons we learned while living through this interior renovation. It was promised to be a 2-month job that turned into almost 6. So hopefully these tips will help you avoid having to live in your 5-year-old's bedroom for a half a year like we just did. Number 1, figure out what you can do yourself. This one seems obvious, but there are some tasks that with proper motivation should and can be done yourself. I know construction work isn't for everyone, but there are some basic tasks that can save you a lot of money with minimal tools. It was amazing how easy it was to install baseboards, shoe molding, and door trim with just a leveler and a miter saw. And you don't have to wait for anyone else to get there to do it for you. And same thing goes for electrical work, like putting in outlets or switches. You know, these are not complicated tasks, but they're worth learning how to do properly because they will save you a lot on the labor fees that can be associated with them. And you'll have some skills that'll come in handy later. Number 2, learn to measure and purchase your own materials. This takes some thinking ahead, and it may require you to dust off that part of your brain where geometry lives. But knowing your own material needs rather than giving it to the contractor to do does 2 things. First, it actually makes the contractor more accountable to you because they know you're going to be keeping inventory. At that point, they're only quoting you labor, which is key when getting multiple bids for a job and trying to get the best deal. Secondly, it makes you more accountable to yourself as to the cost of the entire project. It's the biggest variable that you can control when doing a large job, and you must be aware of how much things cost to help keep you and your contractors honest on how they use that material wisely. Number 3, get a full timeline and have a fully engaged contractor. The biggest thing we learned was that while it was understandable that contractors have multiple jobs going on at the same time, you must get them to commit to a time frame for completion. You have to be able to assess their engagement level and where their priorities are and where your job fits into it. In our case, we found that our renovation, while large in scope, was still the bottom of the totem pole for our flooring and ceiling guy in particular. And in the 5 months that it took to do this job, there was still more days of nothing going on than something. We were told and we understood that this was not going to be a quick process, but I think we should have pressed a little more for specific dates of completion, which would have allowed me to more efficiently schedule the other tradesmen around them so we could have cut this job time probably in half. Number 4, watch everything and ask how and why questions. It's very tempting to want to just let your workers do their thing and stay out of the way, because they are the professionals. However, it is still your house. You have every right to be in the middle of what they are doing and asking how they are doing something and why they are doing it that way. And you must also be willing to tell these professionals, nope, I do not like the way you are doing this. We must find another way. Sadly, even after I would check on my guys every 30 to 45 minutes, there were times where I could have offered some solutions to keep them from doing some unnecessary work. Or worse, keep them from damaging already completed work. My argument here is that because you are paying them to do a job, all the more reason to stick around and keep an eye on everything that they're doing. Number 5, be prepared for conflict. This one is a little antithetical for me because, well, as you can see, I'm kind of a chill, rational guy. Except for the rants, but whatever. And as uncomfortable as it might be to have to bring attention to things that are not done properly, you have to be willing to do so and be prepared to be disagreed with. In my case, I now have little bits of grass clippings and 2 pieces of blue painter's tape polyurethaned into my brand new heart pine wood floors. And I had to have an argument with the guy about why I was not paying full price for the job. I'm not an argumentative guy, but with evidence and a sense of reasonableness, I was not going to relent on this. And I had to endure some personal attacks on my character for something that his guys did not do properly. It's not the way that I would do business, but I've learned that conflict comes with construction work, and you must be prepared to check your feelings at the door. Now, our experience here may not be different from anybody else who has gone through a similar, construction job. I mean, no one has ever said, "Oh my God, this is awesome. I cannot wait for my home to be destroyed and put back together." But what I do know is that this could have been much, much worse. It could have been much worse if not for the very talented tradesmen that I've known that have helped us along the way. Many of whom I would actually consider friends at this point. And while the 2 largest portions of this job, which was the ceilings and the floors, that I hired out to people that I did not know, having these familiar faces around on our first big interior job really helped to set my mind at ease, and it gave me the confidence I needed at crucial times, and we solved a lot of the issues together that we ran into. Having reliable tradesmen has been a blessing, and I'll be more than happy to refer any of them for your next project. Just call or text me at the number below, and I'll get you to the right person who can help you with your next construction job. And with that, I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for your patience in waiting for this episode, and I promise that there will be new episodes flying in on a more regular basis from here on out. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.